Happy Sunday, everyone. So, I've been in Mexico the last weeks, and I missed Sunday setups last Sunday because I thought I'd have a little bit better service while I was in Mexico, and it didn't turn out that way. So, I apologize if you came looking for Sunday setups last week and they weren't there. I was on vacation. Totally planned on recording one while I was out there, but the service just wasn't good enough, and I had to miss it. So sorry. So this week we're gonna have pretty much 2 weeks of price movement on the charts. So we should be able to see quite a bit of difference of where we had support and resistance zones marked on the daily, and we might get a good snapshot of, did price hit that zone and bounce and we missed that trade and there's still a trade there, or did we break through and now we're going to bust into a long trend that we could try to take advantage of. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it and see what we got. Oh, sorry. All right. So, as always, I use tradingview.com to look at my charts. And if any of you guys out there have not got on this, I highly suggest you do. The charts are great. It's free. They do have paid services. But, if you're just starting out in Forex or trading, no need to jump on the paid services quite yet. Just play around with the free ones. So let's just go for bottom up this week. So let's start with the USD Mexican peso. Now, full disclaimer, I don't trade this pair on my live accounts, but I do like to trade this pair with my demo or in my free trading signals, because it is a fun volatile pair, and it will follow technical obedience sometimes. So as you can see, let's go to the daily. Let's start out with the daily here. So we've identified this strong support line going all the way back here. We had a trend line. We had a break of that trend line. So now we were looking for a retest, some sort of retest of that. And as you can see, price is now starting its push from this really low bottom here. Now, however, we hit this S2, and you can see it pulled all the way up to this area. Didn't quite hit that pivot yet, and that was our profit target from hitting S2. Was this pivot line? We haven't gotten there yet, so I like this to still try to push up and at least touch that pivot before it shoots all the way down. So, right now, and obviously, I think we broke that strong support line right here, but it almost instantly came back up. So I'm going to leave our support resistance lines where they're at. I'm not going to be necessarily bearish till we get up here. And I'm slightly bullish now that we dropped down, broke back up, and now we're starting to see price move back up. Plus, we have some really good fundamental news coming out on the US dollar that could spark quite a bit of interest in this pair. All right. Let's go to the next one, USJPY. All right, so you could see we actually have a trade on with this pair. So once price hit R2, we were wanting to get short. We did, and as you can see, I like this pair. Profit all the way down to this pivot level. So those of you that are in my channels and got in this trade, you are loving it. So yeah, I like it, at least to this pivot. Maybe we'll get a push all the way down to this bullish zone, which would be awesome if we could get all the way down here. And maybe even break a low of this, and then we got a lot of downside on this pair. So it's really, really telling that price came up, hit R2, and then did not bounce on this level. As you can see here, it broke through, retested it, and then now is working its way down. So if you're short this pair, I'd continue to be short. I would look to see what price is doing at this pivot level, which is about 108.94. If we get a break of that level, next area where you might want to start looking to get bearish or look for what price is going to do at that level is 108.42. All right, so let's go to US dollar, Swiss franc. You can see we took a trade on this pair. It did not go well. We are in heavy drawdown on it, but it's starting to come back. And, I still have this profit target up here where we have this bearish retest. But, we had this bearish move. We broke this level. So what we were looking for is a retest of that level, and maybe that's what we got there. And then now we're on this push, but now we're on another wave up. I'm gonna look to probably break even on this trade that I'm still in, and then reset and try to see direction from that point. We do have this big divergence posted on the daily. So, we might get a strong push coming up on this pair. Let's look at USD Canadian dollar. So you can see we still have arrows from what we were looking at from some time ago. Obviously, we had this trend line. We did not break this trend line, so this was respected. We were looking for a pullback up to this area, and then possibly a continuation of this downward trend. Well, that didn't happen. You can see it break. So what do we do, guys, when we see this? This comes up to here, the next area of support, possibly here, right? You can see price came up. I like it there because we have a lot of tops. Price did get all screwy on this uptrend here, so I definitely we're getting really close to what we want to see what price does at this high again, and then this I like it there now, right? Are we gonna start getting a sideways move in between these two zones? I don't like this play much anymore. But yeah, we broke above the pivot. So this is kind of where I'm going to be looking for what price is going to do this week between these two areas. And we're getting really close, here on the bearish, and that's the one, because overall structure of this pair is bearish. So really good time to look for a bounce in this area and be short for the long haul this week. So let's look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay, so we've had some strong bullish move. We topped out here. We had divergence, and then now price just kind of settled right below the pivot, last week's pivot, and sitting right in our bullish zone. Now, why are we bullish here? Because if we pull a Fibonacci on this impulse leg, right? That's right at the 0.5. This is where we want to see if we're going to get a good continuation of this, and it looks like price is definitely respecting it. So this pair, I'm going to turn red because I want to be bullish right out of the gate on the open here. If we keep getting some pulls down into this area, it would be a good time to plant a good seed for a continuation up to this bearish zone. However, do I think it's going to go far past it? I just don't know yet. But what we might get out of it is a double top situation here on the daily. And, you're going to have a really good trade if you took a buy from down here. You're looking at 156 pips. I don't know any trader that's not happy with a 156 pip trade. So it's not a bad look. It's every trade's risky, but I like this long again, at least up to this bearish zone, and where it's starting to show its turning around point right on the Fibonacci level, and right where we saw this little hiccup on its way up. All right, EuroCAD. So we had we identified this small trend going up. We had a break of that trend line, and now we're kind of in this sideways motion, and price hasn't given us any reason to think it's not going to respect it here. So we're getting close to being bullish again on the daily, and then we wouldn't get bearish again until we get back up to these tops. Interesting point though is price has not pushed down to the S2 and did not touch the pivot. So what we might see here is a push into this level, and a stronger push back up to this pivot, or we might actually get the break of that line, and then we got some downside to look at. But I'm going to be getting bullish once price gets into this the 1.446 range, and looking to take my profit at that pivot level or halfway there. New Zealand dollar JPY. So you can see we have this arrow. If I zoom out a little bit, we've kind of got this strong bullish off this little double bottom here. It's been quite bullish. Price dipped down back to the top of this R2 level, and then it's struggling to break above. So if I get rid of this arrow, some of this noise, it's just kind of hovering right around last week's pivot, which is kind of where this top is right here. So we may be starting to identify a good resistance area, and this is where we want to look this week to see if we get a strong break of that area, or if we get another respect to that resistance, we'll get bearish there. And I'm not necessarily bullish till we start to see what happens at this lower level, and are we going to get a break? Let's make that a little smaller, so when we're on the smaller time frame, it doesn't look so big. But yeah, I mean, we might be getting some good sideways. Some of you traders that want a little bit more confirmation, these would be levels you're looking for a breakout. If you're a breakout trader, you'd be looking for a breakout of that level, and then you'd be short all the way down or long all the way up. What's interesting is we got this R2 way up here. So if you get a breakout of these highs, that's your profit target. That's a good run all the way up here. All right, let's speed things up. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. All right, so you can see what I've been looking at on this pair. One of my favorite patterns is the head and shoulders, and as you can see, we kind of have a shoulder here, got a head, formed a shoulder here, then we broke that neckline, and now we're on a retest of that neckline. So what we were looking for is a little bit bigger shoulder on that last play. We didn't get it. So now I'm actually going to be bearish. Let's just get this out of the way. So I'm bearish almost right now, because we have a break of this shoulder. We're retesting it right now. So right now is a great time to be short now, and you can put a really tight stop loss on this trade, because you know you're gonna you know this head and shoulders play is gonna be wrong pretty much. If you get back up to the tops of these, a break of that top, you're definitely wrong. So this is one of those trades you can put a super tight stop loss, and it just let it run. And I'm not necessarily bullish again till down here, till I see this noise. If we zoom back out a little bit, you do have this former resistance now becoming support to kind of mess with your head a little bit, but that was a while ago, and I'm liking this pair. You have much more recent support here turned into resistance, so I like this move a lot better. Let's shorten this so we know that we're just kind of looking at that area, nothing further back. So if you guys see that, this pair is definitely on the hot list for on the open today to be shorting. All right, let's look at New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Good old Canadian dollar. All right, there we go. So you can see we have some former trades on here. Let me clean up. Like I said, guys, in the beginning, I did not get to the Sunday setups last week, and I don't necessarily move around my daily chart support and resistance midweek. That's what I save this session for, is I look for the support and resistance, and then I trade off smaller time frames and support and resistance on smaller time frames or other entries. So again, it looks like we're starting to form a head and shoulders pattern, right? And you got a shoulder here, you got a head. We're pushed back up. We have not broke this neckline, so that's why I got the bullish. We're bullish there, but I'm definitely liking this pair bearish from right here, and you have a high probability that if you get bearish here and it works, you're going to get maybe this time you break that neckline and you're in a good sell trade all the way down to these S2s. We have a missed pivot down here. Those of you that have been following me long enough know that when we have a missed pivot, I love this level for price to come back to. So yeah, we're in a good spot for this one to be watching right out of the gate for at least a good short play down to here. And if we get a break of this neckline and we're in that short play, I like it all the way down to at least this missed pivot or this S2 level as where price might get this week. Okay, let's look at British pound, US dollar. So we're kind of in this sideways action. Not much to report or change here. We're starting to get this little funneling wedge here. Structure says bullish. We have this divergence. Let's go ahead and throw a trend line on here and see what we got. Yeah. So, nothing too big on this. If we show a smaller trend line right there, you can see the structure slightly up. So, nothing really to move around, but we'll watch this pair this week. If we get, if I get a break of this trend line and break of this bullish zone here, man, that's going to be a good short pair down to these levels. So kind of when I look at this chart, that's what I'm looking for a big move, is if we get a break of this trend line and this support, this bullish zone, we'll be bearish down to this level. British pound NZD. All right, so you can kind of see this pair, I feel really bad for people on this pair because we had this strong bullish move. We were in this bullish flag pattern. We had a breakout here. So I'm sure some people went, yep, buy it. And then instantly just got beat up. Then we had a break of that flag pattern down. So some traders may have got short on one of these retests area. Like you can see right here, that's exactly what I was looking for, is a retest, and you get short, and then price skyrocketed up, shot up to its pivot last week, and is kind of resting there now. So it doesn't mean that this short play you're in is completely over, except for some traders use super tight stop losses and would have stopped out already. But I still like this pair short. However, we got to kind of see. It's going to have to kind of prove to us it's going to get there, and it's not really going to prove that until we break this bearish zone we have. But I mean, as of right now, we can get rid of this noise, right? That was a while ago, and what I'm seeing on the short term on the daily is we're bullish since we hit this. Right? So I don't want to, I'm not going to get short until we see a clear break of that. And if we go down to a smaller time frame, say the 15-minute, right? Let's go to an hour. So if you do a Fibonacci on this impulse leg, price is sitting at 0.5, so we could easily see a continuation off that retracement. And the short term, it's a bullish play. It's a bullish play off that impulse move. You can see right here. Retrace. We're sitting on the 0.5 former last. So short term, this is a buy. On the daily here, you just don't know. So, some of you scalp trades may take a buy to that former high right there. And then, some of you long-term traders, structure just isn't telling us yet what to do. If we get a break of that, I'd be short. If we get a retest of that all the way down that line, I might get bullish then. Okay, British pound JPY. So you can see, what we were thinking here. And price shot up, touched last week's pivot, and is now working its way down. This move just didn't happen soon enough, right? It's definitely respecting that pivot level. If we zoom in on a smaller time frame, you can kind of see we're starting to get a break of that trend line break. Right? So those of you that are breakout traders, this is one to be looking at right away as at least good down to this level. So that'll be one we look at right out of the gate. British pound, Swiss franc. I still like where we're at here. Even though we got a good break of this bullish, we came right back up. I want to see what we're going to do here. We got a really tight, what are we going to do? As you can see with my prediction arrows here, if we get a breakout of this bullish area, I'm bearish. If we get a breakout of this bearish area, I'm going to be bullish. So obviously what I was doing here is letting price do its thing in between these two levels. Looks like we had a breakout here. And those of you that are on my channel, trading channels, we took a trade. And then we instantly went into some drawdown. But I'm still holding on that trade because, false breakout, test, people that, it's just shaking us off. So now it's going to be time to closely watch if we get a move here. If we get a break all the way up to this area, I'll probably have to take a small loss on it. But I want to see what price is going to do here. Hopefully we get a good downward push this week. Go hit that profit target we were looking for on that break. British pound, Canadian dollar. So you can see we identified this area as where price was going to either break down and we get short or break up. And it looks like it broke up. Don't worry though. It looks like it's in a really good retracement of that impulse leg. So if you pull a Fibonacci on it, looks like price is sitting right at the 0.38. I would guess it's going to come down to the 0.5, and you're going to get a good bounce off of that. At least that's what you Fibonacci traders are looking for. Continuation of that strong bullish move, right? On our bullish zone. I mean, it's likely you could get a continuation all the way up here. Because it never touched the pivot last week, my guess is you're going to get continuation and at least back up to that pivot. That's my guess. So I would be long this pair here really soon on those fib retracement, at least up to that pivot. Okay, I'm going to turn this one red because I want to look for that move. British pound, Australian dollar. So really strong support on this trend. Looks like last Sunday we were here and we were looking for a bounce off this, and we got that bounce. So I like bullish again in that area. I'm not bearish again till up here, and it looks like price broke that, and now you're in a lower retracement. So really quick move might be to buy this pair on a smaller time frame here soon and shoot for this bearish zone as your profit target. Euro USD. All right. So looks like we've got a break of that trend line we were looking for, and bearish it is. So I like bearish here, and I'm not necessarily bullish again until we get all the way down to S2. So this is a good short situation. We broke this support. It's just on it's on a downward trajectory. Although on the daily, look at where RSI is. Not a great time to jump right into the sell trade. So I would look for some sort of pullback and a continuation on this pair. I am going to turn it red. Hopefully some of you followers saw the break of this trend line and got short this pair and are in a really good trade. I missed it. I was in Mexico all last week, and I let my robot trade on my copy trade account, but I wasn't doing a lot of discretionary trades, mostly because my service sucked, and I did not want to get in a situation where I put a trade on and could not watch it. That's nothing's more scarier than that. So Euro NZD. So we kind of have this sideways channel. I was looking for a good break here. You can see we got some bearish. So now I'm going to see what price does here, but you can see we have this bearish move, retracement. We predicted a bounce in this area. We got that bounce. And then now I kind of like this bearish down to this S2, but I want to see if we get a good respect to this level. I'm going to get bullish right on this support here, because we may be getting a double bottom situation. However, this is a lower probability trade because we have this strong bearish move, and this was the higher probability trade here, waiting for this pull and then a continuation. And those of you that follow me, if you took this trade, throw some comments in the comments section. I'd love to know if you took this trade. Let's look at Euro JPY again. We predicted this, and then we predicted this. So now we have a break of this trend line. right? So if you draw your trend lines on the wick, guess what we have? So you break out traders. I'm not bullish till S2. And you know, if we get a retest of that, bam, gonna get bearish again. A retest of that trend line, but I like this pair bearish. If you're probably gonna get a retest at these bottoms here. That's when you get bearish and look for that continuation. That's a good one. I like that one. So I'm going to turn that one red. British Euro, British Pound. We've kind of been in this sideways motion. Price did come back down to its pivot. I kind of want to see if we get a dip down in here. But some of you smaller time frame traders may be getting bullish here up to here. Still not a bad trade. If you caught this right, it's still 158 pips. Not a bad trade. Euro, Swiss franc. All right, so obviously we did not get a bullish jump off of that area. So I like bullish down here. We have lots of divergence posting. Lots of divergence posting. We got a missed pivot. Look how far below RSI we are. Obviously, some fundamental news is what's driving this, and some of you reversion of mean traders like I am, you're kind of salivating over this one. Lots of signs, lots of signs that price wants to come back up. It looks like it stalled out on S2 last week. So, and we've been in a strong bearish move. It's a little more risky, and like I tell you guys, you're completely just throwing a dart, saying, "Oh, we hit support or S2 mathematically, and we got divergence, so we should get at least a little pull back up. We have a missed pivot, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. But if there's much higher probability trades to take, so if you take this is one you use very good money management, small position, and you might just catch a really good pull back or a good turnaround. I mean, there's a lot of, if we pull back all the way, let's just go to a monthly chart, right? So we're sitting right where these lows were in 2018. Right here was a flash crash of January 2015. So it's hasn't been much lower in a long time, since 2015. So take that for what it's worth. So go to a weekly chart, you're sitting right where it turned around before, right here. So there's a lot of signs that you're going to get a good pullback coming on this pair. So when I see this divergence, I see it sitting on S2, I see a missed pivot. I'm looking for at least a move halfway up to this pivot, or possibly shoot all the way up and touch that pivot. So I'm going to definitely keep this one red. Euro AUD, you can see I was looking for a deeper pull to get long, but price did come back up and is in our bearish zone. So I'm going to wait for it to continue up, see what happens on that downward trend line, try to get bearish and catch that move down. Swiss franc JPY, we were looking for a deeper pull from this top. We didn't get it. Looks like we're getting one now. So technically, I like this up here. And look at right where price is at right now. So you trend traders, strong impulse leg, retracement. It's touching where former resistance is right now. If we put a Fibonacci on there, my guess is we're going to be at a pretty strong level. Yep, a 0.618 right now. So, you're either going to get a really good bounce here or a break of it, and then you kind of have a longer term turnaround happening. So, like this one, I'm going to turn it red. I'd like to see a good bounce. I mean, the overall structure is bullish, so that's the way we should be trading. And you don't have a really good sign that this is going to be a shift in trend. You don't have a double top situation or a head and shoulder situation telling you that this trend's over. So, Canadian dollar JPY. So we have I like it bearish up here, and I still like our bullish zone. So let's see what price does. If we get a good bounce in this area, get bullish up to this bearish zone. Looks like Japanese yen is just strengthening on all pairs last week. Had a great week last week. Every pair might just be a sign that this week, won't be so strong in there, and price is going to move back. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. So we had this strong bullish or support. We were looking for a bounce, and look what happened. Bam! It broke through, retested, and then now is in this down. So that, my friends, tells us we have confirmed a break of that support and a retest. So I want to get bearish on any sort of retest of that zone. And now we're pretty much bearish this pair. We already had the retest. You had the strong bearish. So now you're kind of in this retracement of this bearish move on a smaller time frame. So I like this pair almost getting bearish right out of the gate, at least down to this S2 level. So I'm going to turn this one red. And now we're in Australian dollar. Australian dollar, US dollar pair. Man, you would think we had a crystal ball, right? We had a break. We looked for a retest. Almost perfectly to that pivot. And now we're short. So if you were watching last Sunday and you copied my stuff, you would have saw this happening. However, didn't, because I was in Mexico. So I love this pair now that prediction's over. I love this pair short down to this S2. We're pretty much right out of the gate. I think we're good to stay short. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. So you can see we predicted a short. It's in its short, and then now a bounce. So I'm going to leave this one on there. It just happened a little sooner. If we get down to this S2, that's where I want to get bullish. May not. I mean, we have this divergence. Hit the pivot, might be getting a double bottom scenario here, and we get a good push. So that's one to look for. Australian dollar JPY. So it had a false breakout here, but now it looks like we're having a really solid breakout of that trend. And some of you breakout traders, I'm going to look to see what happens on this bullish zone, this former bottom here. if you get a breakout of that, then you have a lot of downside, downside levels to be going after. Australian dollar Swiss franc, kind of in the sideways. We could probably move that up. No, I still like it down here. Nothing too big to report on here. Prices in between our areas of support and resistance. One might call that support, breakout, retest. It's stretchy. It's a stretch. So I'm gonna see what price does down here. I'm just gonna leave this one alone. Okay. So again, we had a upward trend. We had a strong break. We got a retest. Price came back down. Then we got this impulse retest again, and now it's showing bearish. So if you trade on this retest, you should have got some good profit. And then this scary move back against you, and then now it's showing bearish again. So I'm bearish here. I'd be bullish, possibly here, but I would be more bearish if we get up here. All right, well, that is this week's Sunday summary. And, again, I apologize for not getting one out last week, but I am a one-man band, and, I did go on vacation to Mexico, did not have great service, took everything down there, microphone, camera, and it just didn't work out. But we're back this week, trading really hard. If you got any questions or comments, throw them in the comment section below. If you're new to trading, get on TradingView and follow me there, and you'll get real-time videos of trades I'm looking at. And I also post those on my Telegram channels. So I've got links to those in the bottom. Jump on those, get more real-time. If not, I'll see you again next Sunday. Have a great week, and let's go make some money together. Bye-bye now.